Hello, everyone. Welcome to 10-Minute English with May. And today we're talking about verbs and verbals. So, as we all know, verbs are by far the most important part of speech. Without a verb, you do not have a sentence. So, all sentences have verbs. And the verbs we're familiar with include the be verbs is, are, was, were, has been, had been, so on and so forth. And of course, other linking verbs and action verbs. But what is a verbal? Remember one important thing. A verbal is not a verb. It is never a verb. It may look like one, but its function is entirely different. So you can think of it this way. A verb is like the mother, and verbals are her three kids. So the verbals are three different individuals, although they do retain certain resemblance characteristics of the mother of the verbs. So let's take a look at the example. Eat. Eat is a verb. So in a sentence, of course, I eat apples, right? Subject, verb, object. And of course, I can use an imperative sentence as well. Eat more vegetables, right? So without a subject, but using a base form verb to start my sentence, I can make a command. All right, so now what are the three verbals? The first verbal is our participle, and there are two kinds of participles. Present participle, which is verb ing, so it goes from eat to eating, and past participle, which is eaten because it is irregular. So keep in mind that past participle may look like verb ed, which is the same as a past tense verb, but it is not a verb, it's an adjective. Or there may be irregular past participles, like in this case, eat, ate, eaten, know, knew, known, do, did, done. It's the three forms that we memorize when we're kids. All right, so now we know that a participle, whether present or past, functions as an adjective. So like all adjectives, what they do is they modify nouns and pronouns. So to give you an example sentence, the man standing over there is my dad. In this sentence, standing over there is adjective function. It is modifying the man. All right, so now moving on to the second verbal, which is called a gerund. A gerund is verb ing. It looks exactly the same as our present participle, but the function of a gerund is a noun. So that means usually a gerund is either the subject or the object of a sentence. So example sentence. Eating apples is good for you. I like eating apples. So in these two examples, you can see that eating apples, in this case, it is the gerund phrase functioning as the subject of the sentence. And in the second example, eating apples is also a gerund phrase functioning as the object. I like this. All right, so that is gerund. The third verbal is an infinitive. So infinitive is to plus verb. So don't confuse it with a preposition to. All right. So maybe I can say I gave the present to Bob. In this case, the to Bob, to plus our object of the preposition, our noun, this is a prepositional phrase, right? Whereas in this case, the infinitive, it is to plus verb, right? So what does an infinitive do in a sentence? It's very versatile. It can be either a noun, an adjective, or an adverb. So when it is a noun, it is interchangeable with the gerund because they're both nouns. That means the function of a noun is either the subject or the object of the sentence. So for example, I can change the sentence in the second in gerund to eat apples is good for you, or I like to eat apples. All right. So when infinitive is functioning as an adjective, it is modifying a noun or pronoun, similar to that, the function of a participle phrase. So let's say, I have a book to read. In this case, to read, the infinitive is modifying a book. So that makes it an adjective function. So what about an adverb function infinitive? It is either modifying a verb or an adjective. Right. So for example, I ran to escape the crazy dog chasing after me. So as you can see here, to escape the crazy dog is an infinitive phrase modifying the verb. Why are you running? You're running in order to escape. So that is an adverb function. All right, so as you can see, do not mistaken verbals for verbs. Otherwise, you would end up with very strange sentence structure. So let's just plug in the verbals into the verb and see whether the sentence still works. I eating apples, that is not a sentence. I eaten apples, that is not a sentence. I too eat apples, and that is not a sentence. So verbals are never verbs. Do not confuse present progressive tense with present participle. A present progressive tense needs to have be verb plus verb ing. So for example, I am eating apples. Now that would be a sentence, but verb ing alone is not a verb. And that's it for today. That's verbs and verbals. So we will continue with this topic next time. Thank you for listening. Bye-bye.